My brother wanted me to make this video, actually, but I wrote something about it. But making a video may be a little more interesting. It may be a little more personable. But I find it quite interesting. I find it, confusing to me that I hear all of this narrative that Trump supporters are hateful and evil and they're just violent, and Trump is just inciting all of this irritation and hatred towards American people. And the funny thing is that I haven't seen. If there's something out there, share it with me. I'll look at it and consider it. But I haven't seen a single incident where a Trump supporter is going and invading other candidates' campaign rallies, going and inciting violence, putting signs in front of people's faces, flipping them off, saying F Clinton or F Sanders, yelling at people, having to be forced out of an event, essentially committing a crime, especially when it's considered a private event. It's a crime to be disorderly, and it's a crime to be trespassing if you refuse to leave after several reasonable requests. So essentially, I haven't seen a supporter there violating other people's freedom of speech in the selfishness of believing your freedom of speech have some more power than others. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it happen. Haven't seen a Trump supporter blocking traffic, standing on cars as they try to push through to go about their everyday life. That is selfish. That's un-American to do that to people. You can have your opinions, but that don't necessarily mean you gotta block someone else's opinion. It makes no sense. Haven't seen it. And I was at an event. I haven't been to all the events, but I was at an event where it was completely the opposite perspective. People were nice and kind. And these other people came in and started pumping up the crowd, wanting people to fight, yelling at people's faces. And they got one reaction out of a person, but it was 20, 30 of them doing it throughout the entire incident. And 5,000 people decided that they were going to hold their peace and keep it together. And one guy just had enough. But now everybody's bad. I find it quite interesting that a person that serves in the military and happen to be an African American, takes offense to a person wearing a Ku Klux Klan hoodie and another person that's being disrespectful to the entire crowd, violating others' constitutional rights, committing a crime, breaking the law by being disorderly and refusing to leave, and happen to be wearing an American flag. I find that very disrespectful, and I find that being an instigator to violence. In a perfect world, everybody's able to compose themselves, and when we're great at not acting out. But in reality, people, they can't contain themselves at times. And I guarantee you that guy who served in the military, who fight and would die for the freedom of this country, would have never been in that situation, would have never been even on TV for nothing but something probably heroic, if it had not have been for others inciting violence and trying to get a rise out of people who are just being peaceful and want to hear what their candidate has to say. So just want to throw that out there. I find it disingenuous, and I think that people are catching on, and I think this is why people are voting for Trump. Me seeing that stuff actually swayed my perception of who he was, and inevitably led me to finding out that, hey, man, out of all the candidates out there in the pool, he's the best one that we have to offer. So thank you, guys. Talk to you later.